Okay, guys, here we are, Levy again. We're here to finish up about talking about the exam day and what to expect. Again, this is what's going to appear. So basically, you will have that test ticket, and on the test ticket, that's an e-ticket. It'll have a link there, and it'll say "Go to exam." And when you go into the exam, you'll wait there. Basically, you'll have your e-ticket that you'll either get from the email or you will get from AP Classroom. And you will click on it. It'll have your APID number, and make sure you have that APID number written down. And you'll need to, again, open up two windows side by side, separate windows, one for the test platform, one for your Google document. And on the top of your Google document, you will type that APID number and your initials and your name. You'll have that ready. And again, at 3:30 on May 12th, you'll use that exam e-ticket. You'll click in, you'll complete your identity information, and you'll wait for it to begin. It will begin automatically, so don't refresh. It'll just click on question 1 will appear. Please make sure you read question 1 really carefully, especially if there's stimulus, that you read the title of the stimulus, you read the intro into the questions, you read the questions carefully. There'll be a summary in the intro that'll kind of give you an idea of where to go with those questions, as well as the title and the keys, like if there's color-coded or whatnot. Make sure you read all of that. Then you'll read the question. On your Google Doc, on your window that you have side by side, you'll start typing in your answers. And then you'll have 20 minutes to type those answers and answer all those questions. Make sure you manage your time properly. Make sure you're providing adequate support. Then your 5-minute warning window will come up. After that 20 minutes, it'll say submit, and it'll be in red. You will copy your answers from that Google Doc, and you will paste them into the test platform, and you will hit submit. Then as it uploads, you'll wait. And make sure you submit that before that 5 minutes runs out. If you don't submit, you won't get credit. You will end up getting a 1, which is bad. And then question 2 will appear. Same thing. You'll read question 2. If there's a stimulus, if there are multiple stimulus, you read the questions, read the summary, read the intro, read the question. Then you will start answering the questions on your Google document. Make sure you have your APID there, your initials, and your name. You'll start answering. You'll have 15 minutes to answer those questions. Type them out on that Google Doc. Make sure you include adequate detail. Then, after that 15 minutes is up, 5-minute warning will start to count down. You will copy that from that Google document, and you'll paste it into your test platform, and you will click submit. Next, your testing environment. Do your best to test by yourself in a quiet room. Please remove all distractions. Enable the do not disturb or quiet setting on your device, like your phone. Let your parents, your guardians, your siblings, and friends know you'll be testing so they don't disturb you. Can't go do the test and then pause it and come back. No, you have the time that you have. Make sure your device is plugged in. You don't want your computer to lose battery and then time out, because that time out and the time you have to get back in, and if it even lets you back in, that takes away your time. So please make sure it's timed in. If you have limited bandwidth, please ask other people in your household to get off your network. If they're playing video games or they're streaming or watching YouTube, please get them off of that so that it doesn't slow down your computer. And have your exam day checklist ready for you, and any other test materials like supplemental materials or help materials, notes, anything that you want available. Next is exam security. This is super important. You may not incorporate work which is not your own, and you may not provide or receive aid of any kind from anyone. To identify students attempting to receive help through the web, a phone, a social media, sophisticated detection and technologies and processes will be applied. Most techniques will remain confidential to maximize their effectiveness. We will be monitoring social media and discussion sites to detect and disrupt cheating. We may post content designed to confuse and deter those who attempt to cheat. So they're thinking like they'll put out information that's inaccurate, or that they've preloaded so that they can see if you copy and paste that or if you reference it, and then they know that you have cheated and try to look up the answers. Attempts to cheat will be detected immediately during testing or will be identified in June and July simultaneously with exam scoring. Like they're going to have all sorts of a scanning software and whatnot where they can see, A, if you've copied and pasted from the internet, terrible idea, will invalidate your score. Or if you've worked together and you have similar answers with someone else. Like let's say Mr. Fussner, Parker, and I work together and we have similar examples or similar phrasing. They'll pick that up in their detection software and they'll give us all invalidated and log us in as cheating. Students' exams will be scanned by plagiarism detection software, shared directly with their teachers. Students found violating exam security will face severe consequences, which can include having their names reported to college admissions officers for attempting cheating. And remember, when you have to send your SAT scores, the College Board does SAT too. They will submit a note that says that you cheated or attempted to cheat on the AP exam, which will likely mean that you won't get accepted into that school. And they'll cancel your AP scores. If you have more questions about the AP security, exam security, you can click here, or you can report cheating at this address. Next, to check into your exam. So again, 30 minutes at 3:30 on May 12th, you will check in for your exam. You'll click the specific e-ticket for that exam, and it will say go to exam. You'll click that button, it'll take you into that exam. You'll need to spend a few minutes passing through various security filters to confirm your identity. A timer will show how much time remains until the start of the exam. Once the exam starts, the first exam question will automatically appear. You should not refresh your browser, so please don't refresh your browser. It'll look like this, that you have entered your AP ID. That's why you need to make sure you have it written down here. You'll hit continue, and then you just wait. Make sure you have your split screen ready and all the materials that you're going to use all there ready for you. Make sure you have your Google document ready with your AP ID typed on there, your name and your initials. Next, answering the questions, exam questions. Okay, let's pretend like this on the right side that this is a Google Doc and you're typing it. For most exams, the question is divided into parts, so that's including ours, labeled in alphabetical order. Maybe A through G, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Use those letters to organize your response and make sure you're not accidentally skipping any part. So yours, Google Docs should be organized just like this. A, just like we've done all year. And then A, and then period, space, and then you will start typing your answers. See how these are all in, let's assume these are typed. These are all in sentence paragraph forms. That's how yours should be. You cannot have any bullets, fragments, lists, non-sentences. If you do, they won't grade it. It's considered just cross it out, got a 0. Has to be in sentence paragraph form like this. You see how extensive these answers are? Your answers need to be extensive. All of your question stems from the videos you will see are compare, explain, describe, apply, explain the degree to which. All of those require adequate support. You need examples. You need to tie it back to the question. You need to prove that that's the answer with why and how and describing. You can use spell check and grammar check, but it doesn't really matter. It's considered off-the-cuff writing. If you've installed Grammarly plugin, please disable it or the exam won't function. You won't be able to move on to the second question until the time for the first question has fully elapsed. So once the time for the first question has finished, the second question will automatically appear. Once you submit, you can't go back to it. So it's not like you can go back to question 1 if you're on question 2. And once you submit question 1, you can't go back in. Once you submit question 2, you can't go back in. So again, you should have your answers should be set up just like this, in A, B, C, D, E, F, G order. You need to have sentence paragraph form. Make sure you answer them in order. You can't skip around. Like you couldn't start with C because you know that better. You have to start with A, B, C, D, go in order. Again, you need adequate detail. That's the key to getting a good score. Next, during the exam, you'll see a timer at the bottom of the screen showing how much time remains to create and submit your response. Keep that timer visible. 5 minutes before time is up, the timer turns red. You'll see a pop-up reminding you to submit your response. Stop where you are and copy or paste or attach your work, then click submit. If you didn't submit your response on time, you won't get any credit for it and you'll likely get a 1. This is exactly what it'll look like. For the 20 or 15 minutes, it'll look like this. Once it's time to submit, it'll go into the 5-minute red countdown. Losing track of time and not submitting a response before time runs out is not an acceptable reason for requesting makeup testing. AP will set standards for scores of 3, 4, and 5 this year, so that it's not more difficult than any other year in the past. Submitting a response. Again, we've already gone through this, but this is what it'll look like. You'll type your answers on your Google document. Then, once you've finished typing and you want to use the full 20 minutes, and make sure you manage that 20 minutes well. You manage your 15 minutes well. Once you've finished typing and you've gone into the red 5 minutes left, you'll copy this from your Google document, paste your work here. That's why this is what it'll look like on the exam platform, and you'll hit submit. So again, and then you'll see that it has pasted here, and you'll hit submit. Now, once you click submit, your response may require to transfer depending upon your bandwidth. This is fine. You'll be able to move on to the next question, not a big deal, even while your first question continues to transfer, so long as you click submit before the time ran out. If your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, wait for an on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete. Make sure your submissions have fully loaded before you close your browser or turn off or restart your computer. Do not ever close it out until you see that wait for the on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete. Don't close it out. If you never see that, please go to this cb.org/request makeup and explain the situation, request an e-ticket to makeup, and please email me and let me know. But don't close it out until you see it. What could go wrong while I'm testing? If somehow you accidentally close your browser, your device crashes, or you temporarily lose your internet, click your exam e-ticket to return to the exam. But remember, this does take away your time. Continue the exam, but if you feel like that was really disruptive, you can go to cb.org/request makeup, and you can put in your explanation. Don't refresh your browser or hit the back arrow during the exam. Don't call the College Board. You do have to go to this link if something happens to explain. But again, if you close it out, they'll know if your internet has run out. So please make sure you follow all the steps. Exam scores, again, as usual, the exams will be scored by the AP readers on a 1 to 5 scale. 3, 4, 5 are considered passing, and your scores will be released beginning the week of July 15th this year. So again, beginning the week of July 15th, your scores will be released. 3, 4, and 5 are passing. All of you should be in a position to get that 3, 4, 5. And again, please make sure you check your technology. You want to make sure that you're using Chrome through launch and that you're using Google Docs. You need to make sure that you have disabled any browser plugins or extensions. You can't have Grammarly on there. You can do a Google search how to disable browser extensions. You can get that Grammarly off of there. And again, you need to make sure that on Monday or Tuesday, May 11th, or the morning of May 12th, that you restart your computer and ensure that you have the latest version of Chrome uploaded onto your computer. If you're using your desktop, make sure you get the latest version of Chrome there. Those instructions are here to get that latest version of Chrome if you're using a desktop. If you restart your school computer, that should automatically update. So again, if you cannot, on the exam day for the demo, if you cannot access that demo on May 4th, you need to make sure for the demo that you use the computer for the demo on Monday that you're going to use for the AP test, whether that be your school computer or your desktop. And if you can't access it on that demo, then that means that you're not going to be able to access it on the exam day, and therefore you won't be able to take the test. So please make sure that if you can't access it on the demo day, that you restart your computer and then try it again. And then if you can't, please email me, and we need to speak to Mr. Blackman at that point to ensure that there's not a tech problem. And last thing is, please make sure you are working hard this last 10 days. I promise you, after May 12th, we will have very little work. This is the payoff for you for having done all those notes all year. studied so hard, sacrificed, done all these quizzes, AP Classroom, Albert IO, FRQ practice. I'm really proud of all of you. Thank you for your hard work. Please fill out the Google form.